Cool. So in the last video, what we did, we went through how to set up the trading view. If you have any questions with that, as I said, just make sure you reach out. But what we're doing on this video is we're going through how we gain confidence in the market, okay? And how we do that is we go by using replay mode, all right? So replay mode basically is historical data. And the way you do it is you just click replay mode, and then you come down here and you can do many things, right? Random bar is a really good thing to see where you can just spawn in the market and just see where and when you could take the trades that we've practiced, right? But what we want to do is for the first maybe, I don't know, 10 sessions or 10 trades, what I want you to do is I just want you to select date, and then whatever date you watch this video, I want you go to the previous week. So for this case, it's Monday for me. All right, so I'm going to select that. I'm going to reset the chart, and here we have the 16th of November, right, 2025, okay? So I'm going to go to the 15 minute, and what I'm going to be looking at here is I'm going to be looking at the 6 p.m. Now, your trading view should be set up at UTC -5 or -4, depending on where New York is. We're in daylight savings, so this is -5, but it should be set up to New York. Once you've done that, you can start to understand the 6 p.m. is always going to be the market open. 4:45, as you can see down here, is the market close, and then the 6 p.m. is when the market opens, okay? So I know that this open and this close is the opening and closing price of the day, alrighty? So if I was to trade this week, what I'd be looking for, Monday is always going to be a bit lackluster. So what I'm looking at is I'm looking for big moves so I can then get in on the other side of that big move. So basically I want a big swing in the opposing direction to my bias, so I know that people have been stopped out, and then from there we're going to move the other direction. Alrighty, so let's just make this, because I need to change this template. I don't like the look of it. Let's go gray like that. Let's not extend right. And then let's just make it gray again. Okay, it's a little bit easier on the eyes. Okay, so this 15 minute has been touched into already, and it's created a lot of liquidity here. So for me, this could be a potential continuation trade that I would want, but I'd want it to come into here. The other area of interest of mine would be somewhere here. So based off that, we have just taken these highs like so. So we can see sellers start to step in to look at my areas of interest. Let's have a look. They've taken the liquidity again, so we should have a clear move down. It's jumped into my area of interest. I'm not really interested at this point. I really do want to move down here. Maybe taking out this low would be rather nice. It's just done that now. Okay, cool. So this is where I'll start dropping down to the 5 minute and just seeing like what happens. Nothing down here. We could potentially come to this area. This is to show you how to backtest, not how to trade. Okay, so I'm gonna do my best just based off what I am. Obviously, I need higher time frame bias in order to make sure that I'm trading correctly. But I'm just going to trade what's in front of me for now without bias. I am bullish just based on the market structure, and that's why I'm waiting for a pullback to somewhere around here. So we'll skip through and see if it gives it us. What time was that? Okay, so London opened up and absolutely took it away. Took out these lows. It did enter my area of interest, which was this level here. So, I mean, look, we got a really good reaction out of it. But for me, I can't trade this. I have to wait for it to come back to my area of interest, which it is now. We're at 5:30, so time's starting to align. Big sell-off though, so let's just see what happens. Right, so it's claimed my area of interest. No 5 minute entry, no 4 minute. Oh, there is a 4 minute. Okay, so there's a 4 minute entry here. You could potentially take that off this candle here. Break even would be here, so this technically would be a break even trade as by the system. Let's see if the 3 minute was better. 3 minute, same break even. That's a break even as well. Maybe we can get in the 2 minute at a lower stage. So here, so this is potentially your 2 minute. Now, what I'm doing here is, obviously I can see where the market goes, right? But that's, for me, this isn't the goal. It's not the goal to show you how to trade the system. We get much more into that in the coming videos. All I want to do now is just show you how I backtest, all right? So obviously on the 5 minute, I already know that this is going to do this. But what I want to do now is I want to select the bar, right? Which is going to give me this, it's going to give me this ability to then click a bar to go back in time, okay? So whatever bar you click, it'll be the previous bar that's going to be the one that is printed, okay? So based on the 2 minute, I'm going to click this one, and this is technically our entry. Now, when you backtest, I want you to be very meticulous with the way that you're drawing your boxes, okay? So this, as you can see here, is your inverse fair value gap, right? This is the manipulation leg through the liquidity. It's taken these buy stops here, like this. These guys that tried to buy came up, they've been stopped out. It's came down again, took stops. And then on this next bar, we have this buyers stepping in. I thought we inversed there, but we didn't. The next one, okay, beautiful. That's right on the line, which is still valid. Stops go at the low. Okay, we're risking 550. Now, this is very crucial. I want you to get this position, and I want you to put it on your entry. Okay, and it doesn't matter whether you buy first or put this on. It doesn't really matter. But you need to get used to this, right? And what this is going to get you to do is, it's going to get you to see where the risk to reward is. So if the stop loss is at the bottom of this low and the take profit is at this high, then we have a 1-to-1. And just pause the video in a sec and have a look at all of these settings here. Okay, and just choose the same one that I've got. Boom. Sweet. So now that you've done that, this will be exactly the same. Now, this is how I use it. If I bring this down, then this middle number changes. Now that 0.84 means that this is a 0.84 risk to reward. Okay, this, when it goes to a 1, is obviously risking 1 to winning 1. Okay, so let's see what happens here. This isn't obviously the reaction that we want, but it is what it is. Comes down again. This low was protected, beautiful. Then I'm just skipping here. You can play it. It does go very fast. Okay, so if I was to do that again and I was to just press play, it would happen very quickly. Okay, so to slow down the speed, this is the speed here. You just click that. The update interval, you can change that also as well if you like. What that will do is, if we go like this, okay, it'll give you basically like what the candle would have done based on the actual trade, so it's a little bit more real. You can do this. This is very good for like emotional trading because you can figure out like what you would be like with this. Obviously, price being this close to your take profit is going to be scary for everyone, and you'd probably be like, damn man, this thing's about to stop me out. But yeah, in this case, this is a winning trade. Would I trade this? It came to my area of interest. It gave me a higher time frame. Maybe I would have waited for this to be manipulated, but the fact that we've came down to the area of interest 3 times, I know that people are trading this. All right. Then eventually, it just turned around and protected this low. A lot of the times you'll see with these big sell-offs like this that don't have nice market structure, so they're not going like this, they're just simply going down like this. When this happens, a lot of the times it's better to wait until, you know, it puts the first low in and then actually gives you some sort of entry and confidence that the thing is going to turn around. Because you see this was a low, you know, and it came to this fair value gap here and just respected it. Didn't even make a higher high, then it just made a lower low. So there's no sign that this market was actually going to turn around. It tried here, but as you can see, it technically made the lower low and then didn't claim this high, so that's why it just continued to run off. So would I take this trade? Yes, I probably would wait for some more market structure. So for me, I'd be waiting for a lower low to, a higher low to be put in. Okay, still very scary. We've technically put this in. So I would want to see buyers step in very hard and very quickly. I'm going to change this back to 2 minutes. Like that. This is just chop. And we're still making lower lows. All right, so for me, I probably would sit out of this one until this happens. We want to see a nice big claim above it, like that. Cool. And then what we can do is we can wait for the confirmation setup to then come down here if we get it. Now the NASDAQ a lot of the times won't give you it, but if I was trading this, then I would look for the range to be touched. It's already kind of touched this fair value gap, so it doesn't have any reason to come down, but if it does, then I'd be looking for an entry. Cool. All right, there's the touch on the 50, right? And then immediately after the touch on the 50, we get this beautiful little confirmation set up. This is super valid. Let's have a look here. Be risking 280. Put the long position on here. Going for the 1-to-1, you could probably go for like the 1-to-2, but definitely at the 1-to-1, you need to start bringing your stop into profit there. So, but let's just keep by the book and let's just go for a 1-to-1. Boom. Cool. All right, sweet. So, yeah, based off that, you could argue that I should have went broke even when it first come into this fair value gap, but it just really depends on how much you think this thing's going to run up. All right, by the rule book, at this point here, this would be a break even, right? But yeah, that's that. That's how I backtest. As I said, this is more for learning how to backtest, not learning the strategy. So I'm just having a bit of fun just while I'm going through this with you. Alrighty, sweet. So now you understand how to backtest, right? If there's any questions, again, make sure you send them through. But just to reiterate what we went over, you've got the select date here, which can spawn us into a certain time where you can backtest, right? Then we've got the random bar. So if we go random bar, it's going to bring us to a totally random place in the market. So this is 8th of August 25. That's that. Now with the data, the higher the data, the more further back you can go. With the 1 minute, you can't actually go back that far. With the 2 minute, it's better to test out, the start of the year and grab some data based on January, Feb, based on the 2 minute or the 5 minute, the 15, the 1 hour, the 4, the daily, right? So what you need to do is if you want to test 2 minute or 1 minute for value gaps, you need to click the 1 minute time frame, right? Then you need to press random bar. What that will enable you to do is it'll enable you to go to the 15 minute to then trade the bias, right? If we go to the 15 minute and press random bar, when it spawns us in, so this is 2011, if we press 1 minute, down here, it says data point unavailable, okay? So that's how you get around that. If you find yourself here and you accidentally do it, all you've got to do is just exit replay mode, go to the 1 minute, back to replay mode, random bar, and then you can open the 15 minute from there. And then obviously once you've done your analysis, you've got your bias, you've got your areas of interest. So for instance, say you wanted it to come down to here and take these lows out, then you could just wait for it to happen. If it happens, 15. This is locked, so this is probably not going to go down there. But yeah, once it comes to your area of interest, obviously press the buy and sell. With this, right, I like to keep mine on. And the reason being is because if you keep your positions on, and how you do that is you go like this, right? So say this is our trade. What you do is you click it, and then you click this lock icon. Then you can also add notes under, so you can say what it did. So a liquidity sweep, IFVG, let's just keep it simple like that. And then you can put that under there, press lock, and then what that'll do is we can always come back and then go over this together. So, for instance, if you take a setup and you go, oh my God, I'm absolutely adamant that this is going to work, and it absolutely just cooks you, and you may have missed something, then these are the trades where you need to make sure that you save, lock, and then we can go over them together. All right. Absolutely smoked. Yeah, sweet. So let's say, for instance, that was your trade, right? So if we select bar and go back to this one. So let's say you were just adamant the fact that this respected that there, and you didn't expect it to go back up. You press your sell in there. You put your short position here. This is obviously a super invalid trade, don't get me wrong, right? You put your take profit here. And I'm pretty sure this got smoked, but, oh, this is wrong. Wait up. Put that in line with that. Make that a 1-to-1. Okay. Next one. There you go. All right, so say that got absolutely smoked, but you were so adamant that it was going down, right? Then we can go over this and go, okay, cool. What you missed is this came in and took out this, which means that it now can turn around and then it can come down later, right? Or, you could be an invalid trade based on the fact that, this was above this high or whatever it may be, okay? But yeah, just make sure you know that lock button. Sweet. All right, let's have a quick look and just make sure that everything's all done. We have different chart types here. So we've got the volume footprint, you've got the Renko. You can't backtest that. The volume footprint, very hard to backtest that. The line chart, and then of course you just add the favorite button to the ones that you're using. Just keep on candlesticks for now, and we'll get more and more into it as we go along. The last thing to go over is indicators. All right, so these are the indicators that I use, and these are the indicators that you will use, but for now, just keep it off. All right, we'll go over it when we go through our second meeting, most likely, and then we'll go through all the different indicators to make sure that you understand it. But FEG, Nephew Sam, very simply, will just automatically put out the FEV gaps, so it's super easy, right? But at the start, it's definitely better to just do them yourself, because then you can start to see them and you don't need the indicator. I rarely use these indicators. I still have them on because sometimes I'm looking for and making sure that I am not missing any, right? But for the most part, my eye is very trained now. I can just see them straight away without actually looking at the chart for too long. All right, boom. There you go. So yeah, that concludes this module. So that by now you should understand replay mode and how to go through backtesting. The reason why we go through backtesting is to create confidence in the system. It is also where I have spent hours collecting data to create this system, so I know that the data and that the data that I've collected over the space of things, it's going to be profitable, right? And obviously, if you're going to forward test, you can forward test 1 or 2 setups a day. With backtesting, you can sit there for an hour or two and you can go through a month, 2 months, whatever it may be, in a very short span. So this is the training ground. This is where you really start to make the mistakes without having the financial punishment behind it. So make sure you're using this. I've done hours and I expect you to do the same. And I'm sure you want to do the same because you want to be a proficient trader and be profitable. So yeah, if there's any questions as per, make sure you message me. But hopefully I've covered everything. Cheers.